Hi, I'm Chris from Philippines and welcome to my channel. 皆さん、こんにちは。私のチャンネルにようこそ。私はフィリピンのクリスです。So for today's reaction video, I am watching Remembering Hiroshima by Wow Ryu Only in Japan channel. では早速、始めましょう。
Only in Japan.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to Hiroshima. It's been about 75 years since the bomb was dropped. Its impact felt for generations, which is why I'm here. City can't erase its past, but it can build on its long history, move to the next chapter, which is what I think is happening in Hiroshima today. This is the last generation that will grow up hearing firsthand accounts of the bomb and its aftermath, the red sky, the black rain, and the tragedies to follow. The third generation is now the one sharing the stories, and I thought I'd share one with you too. Today I'm going to be meeting a father who is sharing those experiences he learned from his family elders, and now passing the baton to his 10-year-old son, so we will never forget that tragic day, August 6th, 1945.
The Enola Gay was a B-29 Superfortress bomber, departed Tinian near Saipan in the Pacific loaded with a nuclear bomb, the first to be used in war. Hiroshima came into view. The T-shaped Ioe Bridge, easy to see from above.
As they approach the target area,
it was dropped from a height of 31,060 feet, 9,470 meters.
aircraft banked away at high speed.
The Enola Gay turned around and the bomb detonated 43 seconds later, 1,968 feet, 600 meters above the ground. The cloud seen from the air, rocking the plane 11.5 miles or about 19 kilometers away.
Wow.
Hiroshima. On the ground around the hypocenter, the city was devastated. Homes, offices, parks, life wiped out. Fast forward about 75 years later, the city has come back to life.
Beautiful.
Lessons of the past are all around the city, and I'm meeting Yuji and his son Keito, third and fourth generation Hiroshima residents after the bomb. Yuji decided to become a guide to share the city's history with international visitors, as well as make sure his son doesn't forget about the past. He grew up hearing stories from other family members who were nearby on that day. Hiroshima's Memorial Peace Park is where you'll see some of the most striking reminders of that day because it's very near to the hypocenter of the bomb.
Clean.
Yuji took me to the
Beautiful.
initial target where a streetcar just passed. That's Ioe Bridge. Ioe Bridge is easily identifiable from the air.
Ioe.
Yeah, this is we call the T-shaped bridge. It's the original target, but the airplane, the pilot missed the target from here to original hypocenter is a 300 meter. But at that day, that age, it's kind of little accurate, I think.
Hiroshima is a castle town on a delta and the Seto Inland Sea, an important port, military, and industrial center during the war. The bomb detonated 600 meters from the ground, triggered by an altimeter at that height, which forced the blast down and out. This increased the radius of the blast, destroying more of the city. It's estimated that 12 square kilometers or 4.7 square miles of the city were destroyed as a result. You can see just how close the atomic bomb dome was to the hypocenter. We walked there next. The building here is known as Genbakudome in Japanese, and it's one of the most striking reminders of that day.
So this is the Genbakudome.
Right. This is the Genbakudome. We call the atomic bomb dome, as you know. So we have to keep it forever for the peace history. It's about 200 meters from the hypocenter, and then can you see the top? So hypocenter is over there. So the top is bending this way. that way, right?
Oh, right, from the impact you can
Right.
see. It's
From-
warped a little bit because of that.
By the blast, yeah.
Only 150 meters, or about 500 feet from the hypocenter, is the ruins of the Prefectural Industrial Promotion Hall, now called the Atomic Bomb Dome. The building was completed in April 1915 with its distinctive dome and solid concrete construction to prevent it from being destroyed in an earthquake. Video footage of it 7 months after the bomb shows it in nearly the same state as it lies today. It was one of the only surviving buildings so close to the hypocenter, and because of its importance and beauty on the river before, it's now a symbol of the city's past from that day in 1945.
It's a strong building.
Despite its strong construction, everyone inside perished seconds after the blast. Yuji explained its significance to the city of Hiroshima, but he wasn't alive on that day. The reason he wants to share Hiroshima's past to visitors comes as a result of stories from family, especially the one who was nearby when the bomb dropped and went into the city to help the following day. This is Mr. Koji Numata, Yuji's great uncle. I traveled to Saitama, where he lives today, at age 92, to ask him about his experience. He shared some of his family pictures with me, the stories that impacted Yuji when he was a kid. Yes, that's Yuji in the 1980s. I had heard from Yuji that Numata-san had some incredible stories to share about that day and the days that followed, and it would be best to hear it firsthand from him.
昔は呉市に住んでまし
あ、呉市。
た。はい。
広島から30分ぐらい。
30分ぐらいですね。私国民学校のいわゆる大学教員をしてまして、で19年から20年のまでずっとやってまして、であの日はちょうど広まで行って、でそこで警戒警報になったんで、自分の家に帰ってきたんですよ。で夏休みだったんで、うちにいましたら原爆が落とされてバーッと炎が上がったんで、ガス会社の爆発だなんてみんな言ってましたけど、それでその明くる日にですね、広島に行きました。
で次の日大変でしたね。
次の日はもうそういうこと大変だったですよね。行く途中にずっと八丁堀の服屋のデパートの近所に行ったんですよ、歩いてって。でその時に50人ぐらいの仲間がいまして、それで一緒に行ったんですけど、その時に途中でですね、馬がすごくたくさん離れたんですよ。で馬のお腹が全部地につくぐらい太って、顔は何でもないんですけどお腹だけはもうぼっこり太って、でこれは大変なことだと思って行きました。途中八丁堀の手前ですか、一人の米人の捕虜がいまして、宇品で落とされた兵隊だって言ってましたけど、その後ろ手にこう縛られてて、で国防色のパンツ一丁で縛られて座ってましたね。で水だ水だって怒鳴ってましたけどね。で周りはみんな見てたんですけども、周りもあっけに取られて何もしなかったんですけどね。それでそのまま私らはもう次があるもんで他へ行っちゃったんですけども、途中でもう本当にもう顔はもう真っ黒になってこんな大きくなって、でもうなんつうか皮膚がただれてどんどんただれて落ちてるんですよ。血だらけになって、それずっと何人も45人いましたね。当時なんでいないかって言ったらほとんど人間いなかったんですよ、広島市には。でそのままずっと山の広島城の山のとこへ行って、それでそこで女学生がもう100人ぐらいいましたね。全部山の麓にいまして、でそこでなんですか、みんなお母さんお母さんって言ってましたね。で水をやっちゃまずいに水をやらないようにっていうことで水は やりませんでした。でそしてそこでどういう作業をしたかちょっと覚えてないんですよ、その間は。なんかしたんだろうとは思うんです。死体を収容したとか。それでそこから今度校庭に広島の学校の庭に行って、そこで一晩泊まりまして、野宿ですか、で周りはもうみんなうめいてる人ばっかりで、本当にもう悲惨なもんでした。で包帯もほとんどないんで、もうそこら辺にある木でね、みんな覆ってましたけどね。それでそこで一晩寝て、で明くる日は今度もうほとんど何をしたかちょっと覚えてないんですよ。死体を収容したか、それともなんか他の作業をやったか、ちょっとその間ちょっと途切れてるんですよ。記憶が飛んじゃってるんですけど、まあ女学生にしてみんなお母さんお母さんって叫んでましたね。お母さんお母さん、それと水っていうことですね。水をくれっていうことでね。
そう、ずっとあまり食べ物水もなかった。
ないです、ないです。水も飲めないです。いや、ちんちん電車は途中で見た時にもう窓も何もなくて枠だけ残っているのが残ってましたね、1台。
何もなかった。
何もないです。だから結局その捕虜になった人でもみんな周りで見てるだけで、叩きもしなければ何にも手出ししなかったですよね。ということはそんな悪意は持ってないと思うんですよ。
それでやっぱり戦争だけですね。
戦争だけですよね。
戦争だから。戦争終わったらね。
思い出したくないです。
忘れる。
忘れたいです。
忘れたいよね。
もう光景が目に浮かぶとやっぱり気分が悪いですよね。だから忘れたいですね。当時はもう逃げることできなかったですよね、もちろん。だから広島市の中央部にほとんど人っていうのはそんなにいなかったです。みんなもう周りに逃げたり、まあ死んだ人が多かったですけどね。死んだ人が多いんで。それであんまり通ってる人は見なかったですね。ただまあ通ってる人はみんな皮膚がただれてもう溶けていった人が多かったですよね。
These are the stories that impacted Yuji when he was growing up. One of the most important places Yuji took me on the tour was the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum, a place to remember what happened that day, from the bomb to its effects, and the loved ones lost over the years that followed. The museum has been newly renovated, the visual exhibits and layout taking advantage of the technology of the day. If you have been to the museum before, it's worth another visit now. It takes you back to that day, a vibrant city before the bomb, the explosion and the aftermath, often in very personal and grim details.
Yeah.
From the clothing of the victims to the personal stories of lost lives and heroism after, it's a museum that will leave a very strong impression. Hiroshima is now a few generations past the war, and how the generations learn about its history from all over the world is very important to the city. Remembering the past is now as important as finding ways to move on from it. The cenotaph is a place for remembrance, where the annual memorial event of August 6th takes place, the box in the center quite significant.
Yeah. Stone box inside there is a many notebook. It's victims' names on it. So every year we have add the new names.
Over 290,000 names are currently in that box. The flame in the center is the fire preserved from August 6, 1945 to this day. There are still a number of survivors known as hibakusha alive today, but they were quite young when it happened. Many lost loved ones and have built up their families since. It's a place where survivors come to connect the past to the future lives that they have now. In the distance is the atomic bomb dome. About 100 meters away is the memorial to Sadako Sasaki, a girl who was 2 years old when the bomb was dropped, but lived on for 10 years with leukemia. In the year of her death, her father told her of the legend of 1,000 paper cranes. One who folds 1,000 will be granted a wish. Yuji's son Keito explains a story that every kid in Hiroshima knows well.
This Children's Peace Monument is the statue dedicated to the memory of the children who died as a result of the bombing. To this day, people from around the world for cranes and send them to Hiroshima. This statue has a continuously replenished collection of 4D cranes nearby.
The bell is designed to ring like a wind chime. Sadako folded only 644 before her death, but children from Hiroshima and around the world have folded the rest for her, thousands of times over. New ones are shown in glass cases around the memorial, and the paper from them is recycled into school diplomas and certificates. So why don't Hiroshima residents dislike Americans?
So a lot of people ask me in Hiroshima, why don't the people dislike Americans because of what happened?
Yeah, I think it's the peace education is very unique. So teacher and a textbook said that don't blame Americans, just blame war itself. So that's I think that's a key for the step forward. I think it's good for the education to me and to next generation, I think.
To move on from it.
Love
Right.
and peace.
Near the A-bomb dome is the Orizuru Tower, with a scenic deck to see the city and eat lunch. The wood-decked observatory offers panoramic views of the city looking down on the Peace Park. There's always a nice breeze up here, and the perfect place to enjoy a bento lunch from the cafe.
Wow.
This is Hiroshima's famous okonomiyaki, but wrapped in a bento. Delicious.
Yummy.
Also in the Orizuru Tower, visitors can fold their own paper cranes.
For Sadako Sasaki.
No matter what it looks like, you can still drop your crane in a unique glass wall on the side of the building.
Why?
It's a little scary walking out there.
Oh my goodness.
We're 12 floors up.
12 floors.
There are already thousands of cranes underneath mine.
Oh.
The area around the Peace Park after the bomb was in ruins. But today, it's a place where students come from all over the world to learn about what happened and see how far Hiroshima has come. It's one of the most popular stops for all international visitors to Japan.
Yes.
The atomic bomb dome now surrounded by a thriving park, city, and life. The city has now moved to the next chapter, but it's residents like Yuji and his son who will make sure that the past is never forgotten.
My mission, I don't know, it's like my mission. So he gave me a good button, so my button to my son to the next. I think that the perspective about the peace is a bit different. My uncle has a kind of real, he feel, he smell, he, taste it, I don't know. So it's a real story. But I don't know that, reality, but I know the story from him or many, textbook or stuff. I learned, many things. So I want to give him the next button to my kids' generation. Give him in the future. Yeah.
Keito recently volunteered to help the recovery from tragic landslides that struck Hiroshima in 2017, where many people lost their lives.
まあ人のためになろうと思ってやったし、まあ戦争と同じで
Child.
人が死んだので人の役に立とうと思ってボランティアをしました。人に役に立ったので、まあ嬉しい気持ちと悲しい気持ちもあります。
They say time covers all scars. They fade over the years but are always visible, so we won't forget that. Hiroshima has many scars, has been through so much, but the next chapter is yet unwritten. From meeting Yuji and Keito, it will be a much more peaceful chapter than the last. If you're visiting Japan, making a trip to Hiroshima is one you will never forget.
Wow. Hiroshima has moved on. Beautiful place, beautiful city, rich and prosperous. Hiroshima people moved on, but of course they never forget the past. That's why Mr. Yuji and his son Keito, a 10-year-old child, they are there to remind people what happened in the past. And now Hiroshima is a tourist destination. Many people would like to witness how Hiroshima moved on from that grim past. Well, it was good remembering Hiroshima and Hiroshima people. Thank you to Wow Ryu, Only in Japan channel for this wonderful video. And guys, thank you also for watching with me. I'll see you very soon.